Hi, in today's video, I'm going to explain to you exactly what I did to build my consultancy, which has been running for 11 years now. I'm based in Oslo, in Norway, and I consult with clients all over the world. So, over the years, I've mapped exactly what I did to get to this point, which I have put together in what I call the growth blueprint. So, I'm going to explain to you exactly what I did, but you don't need to make any notes because I put it all together in a PDF. So if you like, you can go ahead and download that. So I started back in 2014. And actually, the idea of being a consultant had already been brewing in the back of my mind for a long time. And 2014 was just the perfect timing because I moved to Norway. And so I was starting a new life. And I just decided that this was the perfect moment to build something new. So the first thing I did was to get to know exactly what it is that I excelled at. So at that point, I already had 10 years of work experience. I have a strong academic background, so I had a very good idea of what I'm good at and what I excelled at work. But I also made sure that whatever I was consulting in was directly related to the last thing that I did at work. So this is very common for a lot of consultants when they get started. Their first clients are usually their last employer or one of their more recent employers. So, although I knew that I wanted to eventually consult in other areas, I basically made sure that my offering was around exactly what I had built a lot of expertise on in the previous years. So, having clarity on what makes you unique, what makes you different, what you're comfortable at doing is a very good place to start. The next thing I did, so now we're around 2015, of course, I was full of doubt. I wasn't sure if this was going to work out. And so I was still applying to jobs. And luckily, I was rejected from every job that I applied for. And so that helped me to focus my energies into researching potential clients and prospects. So I didn't just apply cold to opportunities because that doesn't really work very well. What I did instead is try to understand who my ideal client would be and where I could find them. So I started prioritizing direct outreach, but I also made sure that I was at the right places. So I went to networking events, to conferences that were relevant to the topics that I wanted to work at. And so it's really important to have an idea of who your ideal client would be and to reach out to people in your network because that's what we would call a warm lead in a way. These are people that already know you, that have interacted with you, in some way, shape, or form. So just let them know that you're available to consult now and to offer them services that could help them. The next thing is learning how to deal with setbacks. So in 2016, I had at that point grown my income by about 60% just from being more focused. And in 2017, I had my baby, my first baby. And of course, it was the most beautiful thing that's ever happened to me. And I was so happy to be a mom, presented but other challenges. So now I had to learn how to be a mom as well as how to run my business and my consultancy firm, which was a whole new set of challenges. But I figured it out. And I went on to just be more intentional in the kind of work that I wanted to do and the kind of projects that I wanted to be involved in. So now around 2018, I was bidding with more clarity. So I had really just drilled down what my proposals would look like, the kinds of tenders that I wanted to go after. And so I started to win a significant number of projects. At that point, I doubled my win rate. And so I had a lot of clarity on what distinguished me also from other consultants and from what was available in the market. 2019, I had my second child, and that same year, I actually won my biggest contract to date. So that was very exciting. And then 2020, of course, was a challenging year for everybody. And so I definitely saw a slowdown there. But 2021, again, I doubled my income. So things just picked up dramatically because I was very clear on what I was offering and what I wanted to do. 2021, I started to be more intentional around being more visible, sharing my ideas, my insights. So I started to be more consistent in terms of content creation. So I started writing a blog that I still publish once a month since then. And of course, I continued to grow. I started to go after bigger opportunities. I started teaming up with other consultants to be able to make a bigger offer to clients. And so I wouldn't say that the journey ever ends. Of course, there are new things, new heights that I want to reach. I still challenge myself, all the time to find new ways to show up, to be the kind of consultant that I want to be. But all of this to say that I've packaged this journey, this process, everything that I've learned into the Ella program. So please make sure that you download the free PDF. And if you'd like to follow us, please follow the Ella members channel as well as this channel. And we'd love to hear from you. So please reach out to us if you'd like to know more about Ella. Thank you.